7.
Her name is Monica Amakifia, which means Kingmaker. A very appropriate name for a beauty queen. Her official title is Miss Ghana, and she's arriving at London Airport for a 12-day visit to Britain.
We have details of that and more, plus how her son reveals 100 men proposed to her after the competition. That and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for your company. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. We're digging now, and 4 more teachers have been arrested at an examination center in Santor, a community in the Greater Accra region, on day 2 of the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE. Well, this brings to 9 the number of arrests so far. Well, the suspects were allegedly solving questions for candidates of Desiree International School, bringing to 9 the teachers arrested in just 2 days of the examination. The situation has got the examination body WAEC worried about questioning the integrity of invigilators provided by the Ghana Education Service. We'll get to hear from the head of public affairs shortly, but first, let me take you live on the ground. My colleague Emefa has been touring some part of the Greater Accra region, joins us on the line. Emefa, what can you report?
Right, Emefa. So I've been to the Accra Metro to check on some centers over there, and everything is smooth so far. And then I'm back to the Ayawa Central Municipality, visited about 5 of the centers. Now, in one of the centers, we have about 6 candidates with learning disabilities. So what is doing here?
Emefa, if you can hear me, you would have to reposition yourself. Maybe if you're using a headset, you can take it off so we can hear you. We can hardly hear my colleague Rejoice Emefa. The producers will correct that for us. But she's been interacting with some disabled candidates on this. We can hear from them.
Before I start, I have to read through. And to read through, I'm not too fast in it. So I'm supposed to come down and read. By the time I finish, the time is not yet up.
They've extended the time for you aside your college. Is it enough?
Please, yes.
If I read, I understand, but how I'll transfer it in the book, like I am difficult to do it.
You find it difficult to transfer the answers onto the booklet?
Yeah.
So they've extended the time for you. Is it okay? Are you able to do it?
Yes.
You're able to.
So that's Rejoice Emefa there interacting with a disabled candidate earlier. Thankfully, we have a better connection to my colleague Emefa. Emefa, so you were telling me about the places you've been and what you found.
Yes, I'm currently at the Ayawasu Central Municipality, visited about 5 of the centers, and they have recorded about 6 absentees, with one who is saying that he won't take part in the examination at all. So the supervisor is saying they have nothing to do, since he's saying he won't. And then we have about 6 candidates with learning disabilities. Now what they do here is that they extend the time for them with about 20 to 25 minutes aside the normal time that is given to all the other candidates, so they'll be able to catch up with the other colleagues.
Well, that's Rejoice Emefa there. Apologies for that terrible connection. I'll take you to the central region, also to the northern region. But let me quickly bring in Mr. Kapi on this. He's head of public affairs at the WAEC there. They've been raising concerns about the kind of invigilators that they have. So at the last count, we are told that 4 more arrests today, 5 arrests yesterday. What exactly is the situation? What's going on?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. We have actually made a few more arrests. Yesterday we picked up 3 from Bekwai, we picked up 2 from Jinijini, we picked up 1 from Nkranza, we picked up 1 from Chemu in Tema here. And then this morning we picked up 1 from Liberty Hill School near Pram. So what's happening is that we are intensifying our presence on the ground. It looks as if the invigilators have been engaged are actually not living up to expectation.
Well, it raises the concerns about the kinds of invigilators that you've been provided with to conduct this particular exams. Really, is there going to be a collaboration going forward? At least we have a number of days more to go before the end of the exams. Will anything change in terms of your collaboration with the Ghana Education Service?
Well, as we speak, there was a meeting. I should have been in a meeting right now. We are trying to see what we can do, make an appeal to the Director General. Ghana Education Service and see what message we can send across so as to get the invigilators to sit up and do what is expected of them. Unfortunately, we haven't had direct contact with every single invigilator across the country, so that makes it difficult for us to even be able to tell the caliber of people who have been. But we know they are teachers, and for us, teachers are supposed to have a certain pedigree in society, so we expect that they will live up to expectation. But unfortunately, it's disappointing so far.
But what you can assure is that this does not threaten the integrity of the exams in any way.
Absolutely, we have our monitors. We have received several calls from some well-meaning Ghanaians who are drawing our attention to this, and we are recording all the centers from which these calls have come. And when the scripts are here, we will do our own scrutiny, and if there's anything that is found out, we will do further investigations and take the appropriate actions.
Okay. We'll leave you to it at this point. And that's Mr. John Kapi. He's the head of public affairs at the West Africa Examination Council. I'll take you to the central region. My colleague Eric Asante is on standby. Eric, what's the situation from your monitoring?
So Emefa, unlike yesterday where some centers experienced delays in the arrival of exams material, today has been relatively calm in most of the centers that I visited. It is interesting to note that in some of the centers you would see known political activists crisscrossing one another just to offer free bus services for the kids or to distribute some exams materials for them. So here in the central region, there hasn't been any issue of exams malpractice. The exam is going on smoothly with candidates expressing optimism.
So that's my colleague Eric Asante, the situation in the central region calm. And let's check on the northern region briefly. Martina Bugri has been monitoring events. Martina, any different situation in the northern region?
The northern region, so far everything is good. The only thing they've encountered is 5 students are not writing. And efforts to get these 5 children told our students that is because they are out of the region. Their teachers have tried to get them to write, but that hasn't been successful. So far, the Deputy Director General Management Service of the Ghana Education Service was there this morning to give some talk to the students ahead of their second paper. And he says that the northern region currently has the highest transition to the senior high school, and that is 98%, urging them to either score 100 or maybe increase further, making it one of the best in the country. He says that the region hasn't had issues of malpractice and urge them to maintain that so that they won't have issues of transition when it comes to moving into the senior high school.
That's Martina Bugri there taking us through what's been happening in the northern region when it comes to the basic education certificate examination. Let's get into the election headquarters now. And your election headquarters is in partnership with Petrosoil, your clean fuel in full quantity. CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, AICPA and CIMA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development, and all eyes on the Ashanti region today. And flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is leading a high-powered delegation to the Menchia Palace ahead of the grand unveiling of his running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, in the Ashanti region today. The Member of Parliament for Menchia South will seek the blessings of the Otumfuo Say to the second, while taking the opportunity to inform him about his decision to relinquish the Menchia South parliamentary seat due to his new political portfolio. Well, ahead of the ceremony today, Joy News has been interacting with some members of the NPP on what the running mate brings on board.
And it is very clear. The Bible will tell you that when you seek wisdom, you have to read the Bible. You have to seek wisdom from God. And also, when you seek wisdom from Menchia constituency, you have to come to the Asante Hine. And it is also tried that since Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is a royal, he has to come and get the blessings of his father, of his grandfather, who is the Asante Hine, so that he will be able to take another step concerning the unveiling. Because without the blessings, it means that we are not going anywhere. So we need his blessings. That is why they are coming.
So when we get to the Jubilee Park, what kind of speech are we expecting from Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh?
Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh believes that to win power, there should be unity. So I'm sure his speech will be centered on unity. He is a unifier indeed. And yesterday, per my interaction with him, it was very clear that he knew or he knows that there are some people that are peeved. There are some aggrieved persons within the party. Some have even moved from the NPP to other political parties, which he believes that all these people should come on board so that we move together, rally behind our flag bearer.
Matthew Opoku Prempeh, he's a very important person in the Ashanti region, as you said, but politically, he's a consummate politician. He appeals to the grassroots. Look, election is about numbers, and so you're looking for somebody who can help you garner a lot of votes.
Some NPP members, they're interacting with us on Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Let me take you live to the Menchia Palace. My colleague Nanaya Ojima is there for us. Nanaya, fill us in on what's happening at the Menchia Palace now.
So presently, many from the Ashanti region, mostly the NPP supporters, have converged at the Menchia Palace, awaiting the delegation from the New Patriotic Party with the running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, for the official introduction of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh to the Asante, who seems to be the grandson. So many within the Menchia Palace themselves are excited about this news because they find Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as one of their own. So, of course, you expect them to, open up their arms for the coming of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. From there, they moved straight to the Jubilee grounds where the official introduction to the party supporters will be done. And I came through the Jubilee grounds, and I can tell you many of the supporters are also at the Jubilee grounds awaiting the delegation from the Menchia Palace to the state for the party itself to begin.
Well, so that's my colleague Nanaya Ojima on the situation in Menchia, but I'm sure that the grand unveiling will be happening a few moments after that. Really, what's the situation in terms of preparation, you say?
So, as I said earlier, the stage is set, and many of the party supporters from different parts of the region are trooping in. As I was coming, the chief of Kumasi are painted in the flag of the New Patriotic Party. So you expect a huge crowd to converge at the Prempeh Assembly Hall or the Jubilee grounds for the main event itself. That is the outdooring of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh.
So that's my colleague Nanaya Ojima there giving us updates, and of course we are all over this for you throughout in terms of the unveiling of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh in the Ashanti region. We have all the details also on the Joy News channel. My colleague on the other hand, Anabuachi Dankwa is also interacting with some party members. Currently we can pick bits of it.
The final packs have been made available to the key persons who would go through the review, and when that review is done and we have the sign off, we expect that very early in August we will have the opportunity to launch the manifesto. The launch of the manifesto is also critical to us because it contains the final bits of policy commitments we want to make to the Ghanaian people. And so you will see that as a candidate is starting his general second wave where he's visiting all 275 constituencies. It will be married with the policy commitments that we are making. Those policy commitments constitute our proposition in the next social contract. A government is elected and a social contract is formed between the people and the government on executing some specific things. So in our manifesto, you will see our policy commitments on that social contract that we are hoping to sign with the people of Ghana on the 7th of January in the year of our Lord 2025.
So that's the Ofuasi Ayirebi MP and also the Works and Housing Minister, Kojo Oponkruma. They're interacting with my colleague Anabuachi Dankwa, of course, giving us a live feed from Menchia on the Joy News channel as we speak. And it appears that this unveiling and the introduction of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh to the Asante Hene Otumfo to the second has left Parliament empty. Well, let me bring in my colleague Kweku Asante, monitoring events in Parliament. What's the situation?
Well, Emefa sitting is yet to start. In fact, I've just seen of HMS about to the former majority leader and the chairman of the manifesto committee himself is in the House. But a significant number of NPP MPs are not in the House. Today as well is the vetting of Herbert Crapper, who we expect to take over from Matthew Opoku Prempeh as Energy Minister. That vetting has just gotten underway. A few majority MPs there. If you come to the floor itself, it's almost empty because a number of majority MPs, you understand, are attending this grand unveiling in the Ashanti region and have decided to visit Parliament.
Okay, that's my colleague Kwekwa Sante there painting a picture of the situation in Parliament for us. And already, the announcement of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, I should say, drawn comparisons with the NDC's running mate, Jane Nano Opoku Agyemang. But do they really have anything in common? It's quite the opposite, people say. In the following report, my colleague Kenneth JC assesses the differences and similarities between the two running mates, one of whom could become Ghana's vice president come January 2025.
The National Council of the party unanimously endorsed the presidential candidate's nomination of Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as the vice presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party.
That was the official confirmation of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as the running mate of MPP's flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The dust did not even settle following his announcement, and the comparisons between him and the NDC's running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyemang, began. As different as the two may be, they both have quite a few things in common. Both have Opoku in their names, and in their political careers, they have both been education ministers before. It is within the education ministry that they are often compared to each other.
Now, some back on the person make a no free SHS.
Free Senior High School was first introduced by us, but ours was to make it progressively free, starting with day students.
That's Professor Opoku Agyemang making strong claims that the Free Senior High School was introduced by the NDC, where they sought to progressively make it free. But Dr. Opoku Prempeh would have none of that, tagging Professor Opoku Agyemang as the worst education minister Ghana has ever seen.
And that makes our case she has been the worst education minister since Ghana by.
With professional careers in health and academia respectively, the selection of Dr. Opoku Prempeh and Professor Opoku Agyemang as running mates reflects the strategic priorities of their respective parties heading into the December polls. So whose support will propel their candidate to victory? Ghanaians will decide on December 7th.
And that's my colleague Kenneth JC's report. Meanwhile, the race to replace Dr. Opoku Prempeh as the Menchia South MP is heating up as more than 4 candidates, including the outgoing MP's brother, have expressed interest in occupying the seat.
The race to succeed Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as the Member of Parliament for Menchia South has started in earnest, following his confirmation as the running mate to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia for the 2024 presidential election. The MPP has issued timelines to hold a constituency primary. Posters of Nana Owusu-Afriyie Prempeh, the Menchia South constituency treasurer and biological brother of Dr. Opoku Prempeh, have emerged, indicating his interest in contesting the parliamentary seat. Media reports have highlighted that other potential candidates are also showing interest in the seat. Others whose posters have emerged in media circles are Nana J. Bafwewa, a private legal practitioner, Wan Akwesi Koka Jambibi, the deputy chief executive of the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, Nana Ama Tima, and the Menchia South constituency's second vice chairman of the lawyer Kingsley Bonsu Chiretrie. These candidates are said to have begun meeting with delegates behind closed doors, seeking support for their bids to represent Menchia South in Parliament.
And that unveiling ceremony is happening from 1 p.m. Currently, we have live feed on that. I must tell you that we have the best political team when it comes to election coverage in Ghana. And they will be on your screens from 1 p.m. both on radio, online, and television. We have Elton Brobe, Winston Namwa, Raymond Akwa, and of course, the head of our political desk, Evans Mensah. We're taking you through the entire unveiling ceremony. All you need to know, plus the best analysis right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Also on Joy News and myjoyonline.com. It's a good time to take a quick breather here on the Midday News. Here on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and Kumasi, on Love 99.5 FM affiliate across Ghana's 16 regions, made possible by Petrol Sol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Duro Plus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDP pipes and water tank. Where Duro Plus goes, water flows. We'll return with sports, and then the Chief of Defence Staff, Lieutenant General Pompey, press summoned to testify on the circumstances leading to the third accused in the ambulance trial, Richard Jakpa's discharge from the Ghana Armed Forces. And then I'll tell you how his seamstress from the Volta region made history by becoming the first winner of the Miss Ghana competition.
Her name is Monica Amakifia, which means Kingmaker. A very appropriate name for a beauty queen. Her official title is Miss Ghana, and she's arriving at London Airport for a 12-day visit to Britain.
budgets are tight and money difficult to come by. You want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
This is what the Olympics is all about.
Get closer to split-second wins. Closer to history in the making. Closer to your champions.
The greatest athletic achievements of all time.
Get DSTV to get closer to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games from 26 July to 11 August with 9 dedicated channels for the best coverage of every medal and every podium moment. On Supersport on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah.
Welcome and now for a daily star 712 hash and found no regrets. A Sankoma investors are a striking gold. A Sankoma health workers are a diagnosing luck with precision. A Sankoma that tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. Say a Sankoma passionate fan on also entering containing a joy. After to the seamstresser or turning a hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, a Sankoma, if you say your next big win is right here.
Dial star 712 hash and join the luckiest winning celebration. From the 1st of July 2024, dial star 712 hash to keep buying tickets as a group, individual, or even as a community. Win loads of cash and prizes in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Join the winning streak now.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Time for sports here on the Midday News. Mubarak,
yes, Emefa. So Kwesi Appiah is the head coach of Sudan and hopes to lead his team to victory against the Black Stars in the group stages of the AFCON qualifiers. However, concerns have been raised about his loyalty as he also serves Ghana football after being elected to the Executive Council. There have been calls for him to step down from one of his roles, but CAF media officer Ibrahim Sani Dara explains how the 64-year-old can manage both jobs.
Ghana played against Serbia at the World Cup in 2010. Who was in charge of the... Milovan Rajvac. Yeah. He was a Serb. He beat Serbia. Maybe the difference between him and Ghana is the ESCO. But there's always a case where people can recuse themselves from such discussions. And it should be a straightforward case. I think Kwesi Appiah being there and also being in the ESCO would add a lot of good to Ghana football. The learning experiences he would have in Sudan, he will bring it back as a Ghanaian to impact on Ghana football. If there are any issues of, let's say, people who think perhaps conflict, he can recuse himself from those meetings and carry on as usual.
Yeah, so that's CAF media officer Ibrahim Sani Dara. Back to you, man.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. Now, official summons have been served on the Chief of Defence Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Opon Pepra, to testify on circumstances leading to the third accused in the ambulance trial, Richard Jakpa's discharge from the Ghana Armed Forces. Deputy Attorney General Alfred Chianyabua, during his cross-examination of Richard Jakpa, sought to suggest to the court that the witness was dismissed from the Ghana Armed Forces for persistent acts of misconduct and heavy indebtedness to individuals and institutions. Well, this is based on the 12 September 2007 letter signed by Brigadier General M.G.K. Ahiaglo recommending Jakpa's discharge from the army on grounds of shameful and regrettable conduct. But Mr. Jakpa, in an interview with Joy News, Elton Brobe denied knowledge of the letter.
Very strange, my brother, and that is why I'm contesting it, and that is why my lawyers are going to subpoena the military command
to come and explain this
to
letter.
Come and provide evidence to the consistent fraudulent conduct, the institutions that I owe, the people that I owe, the military trial proceedings that took place that conclusively found me guilty for them to write such a thing about me. Would have copied me, would have confronted me, would have given me the natural justice for me to even defend myself. The letter.
Well, that's Richard Jakbai, and as it unfolds, we'll bring you all the details. But still, on matters of the judiciary, we've been hearing from the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, calling for the removal of the Chief Justice over what he describes as self-seeking interest in the selection of some judges to the Apex Court, or the recommendation that he made. Speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah last night, the party's National Communications Officer argued that the CJ's recent recommendation of specific judges to the president for appointment provides sufficient grounds for her resignation.
That with regard to the unconstitutional and irregular request made by the Chief Justice to the President, she kept it as a secret because she herself knew that what she had done was wrong. And the fact that she actually went beyond requesting for more justices of the Superior Court, actually went into who and who should be appointed by the President, means that this Chief Justice has a predetermined agenda of favoritism for people that she thinks she can work with.
Well, we've been hearing from the Ghana Bar Association also on this. They've questioned the procedure used by the Chief Justice, but they are not opposed to the nomination itself.
That is not what is normally done. What is done is that the three recommending bodies, GBA, the Attorney General's office, the CJ's office, we bring various lists submitted to the Judicial Council. The Judicial Council will now send the names with an advice to the President. The President will now decide to appoint everybody else on that list, or some of them, or to reject the list, everybody else there. Just that he doesn't also have the right to prepare his own list.
That's Xavier Kuje speaks for the Ghana Bar Association, and we go all the way to the Volta region, focusing on a seamstress who became Miss Ghana. We have details of that. Maxwell Agba has been digging more about her for our travel and tourism show, Joy Prime Explore.
And here is Miss Ghana herself.
It is the 4th of March 1957 at the Accra Community Center. A lady in her 20s from the then Trans-Volta Togoland, now the Volta region, has just been declared the winner of the first Miss Ghana pageant. Her name is Monica Amekwafia.
Her name is Monica Amakifia, which means Kingmaker, a very appropriate name for a beauty queen. Her official title is Miss Ghana.
That is us. That is Daddy, Mommy.
I've now met two of Monica's children, Kofi Mara and Vivian Timin. Here, they are seated on a compound going through some old pictures of their mother after she won the first Miss Ghana competition. Kofi Mara says he was too young at the time to understand the weight of the title his mother carried.
The first time was when I was in secondary school at St. Augustine's. Somebody brought a book, a history book of Ghana. My mother's picture was in there. The history of Ghana, and her picture was in there as the first Miss Ghana. That's when it dawned on me that she really was that important. She was in a way a reluctant beauty queen. Well, according to her, at the time the contest was being organized, they asked, young women from around the country to contest, to come forward. And in her hometown, she was selected. Okay. But she didn't want to go. She thought that she would be asked to parade naked. Queen Mother prevailed on her father to permit her to contest. Of course, she became the cynosure of all eyes. He received over 100 proposals.
Wow, over 100 proposals after becoming Miss Ghana in 1957. And I'm sure you're dying to hear more about that story. You can't miss Joy Prime Explore with Maxwell Akbagba on Joy Prime. It's every weekend, and the J without the M is here.
Yes, MF.
What are people talking about?
Well,
obviously, Miss Ghana.
Yes, I did. She was a role model,
Let's
know.
Go. Yeah, out of that.
Well, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is trending ahead of the grand unveiling this afternoon, which they can catch on all our social media platforms around 1 p.m.
Okay, well, and that's happening. Your election headquarters, you can't miss it. On Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, myjoyonline.com. The entire team, led by Evans Mensah, will take you through it. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. How to grow your faith, episode 4, Living Word with Pastor Mensah Otabel. Have a good afternoon.